Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are reviewing the Nike Metcon 7s. Okay, so there's a lot to this new Metcon, the Metcon 7. It's a big upgrade from the 6, which, full disclosure, I absolutely love the Metcon 6. There is only a few things that I would have changed about it, and they are things that have actually been addressed in the Metcon 7. There is a lot to talk about. Basically, on this shoe, there is lots of different numbers from 1 to 8, 001, 003, and they basically allude to the changes that have been made in this shoe. When I first stepped into these, I was like, okay, yeah, they are very comfortable. And the first thing I noticed was how grounded the heel felt. If you actually look at the design of the heel and you're familiar with the Nike Romoleo lifters, it's basically the same design as the heel on the Romoleo lifters. And what that gives you is a really stable base where your heel feels really connected and solid with the ground. But they do it in a way that it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to walk in these. Like, you wouldn't walk around in your lifters. They would just, your shins would end up going through your knees. They're so hard. This has a lovely balance between the both. And what's really good is as you start to move further up the shoe, they've actually got the kind of the grooves in the, I don't know what you'd call this, a tread, I guess, underneath the arch of your foot and the ball of your foot, which allows the trainer to flex quite freely in the front of the foot as well. So, and this is actually my favorite thing about this shoe, is it makes me excited to lift in it. I think in the last Metcon 6s, they added the wedge to kind of give people a bit more angle flexibility, which I think is cool. It's a good thing to do. It's not something that I necessarily needed. But for me, this ticks the box much better as being a shoe that accommodates for lifting as well. Before we get too far into this video, I also just want to let you know about a competition we have running. We are giving a pair of these Metcon 7s away for free on our Instagram. There's a competition over there, as well as winning something that money can't buy, and I guarantee you none of your friends will have. If you want to find us on Instagram, you can check the description in this video, or you can head over to Instagram and find the Lean Machines official. The next thing, I think one of the ways in which they compensated for having that wide base heel, which kind of distributes the weight really nicely, is they've added what is this Nike React. And this is this purple layer, which is 002, I believe. And it's super soft. It's like, it's what you'd find probably in a running shoe. And they've actually said that this Nike is quite good for running. Now, I am going to step in and differentiate from my personal beliefs of the difference between a running shoe and a training shoe. So CrossFit shoes are meant to do pretty much what you do in CrossFit. They're meant to be good at everything, but they're not going to be as good as a specific running shoe is. You're not going to take, Leon, what's the name of that Nike running shoe you have? They're not going to be as good at running shoe as the Pegasus is, because the Pegasus has one job, to be an awesome running shoe. This has a job of accommodating for lifting, stability, and all those things. So yes, it's going to be great for running in, for Metcons and all that kind of stuff that we do. But I don't run in long distances. I don't run long distances anyway, because I hate running. But I don't do long distance running in these type of shoes. For that, I'm going to pick a specific running shoe. However, they've done a very good job of making the amount of running that we do in CrossFit, within reason, much more comfortable. So the fourth thing that's been added on this shoe, if you remember on the Metcon 6s, which are my favorite ones here, on the instep, they added this kind of serrated rubber bit, which is great for rope climbs and on the outside to allow you to get a bit more friction on the rope. What they've done on this one is that on the instep, they've actually carried it up right towards the laces in a kind of a rubber feel, which gives you enough flex that it's not going to be digging into your feet when you tighten up your laces or anything. So that's a great little add-on. And while we're talking about laces, one thing that I just realized, so not going to lie, I've obviously seen the fly wire written before, and I didn't really know what it did until I kind of looked at the inside of the shoe. See, in the inside of the shoe, it's a little bit like a sock, but you see these kind of orange lace hoops. They actually go inside the shoe and they wrap around the internal side of the shoe. So when you actually tighten up your laces, it doesn't just tug your shoe from where your laces meet. It actually pulls the whole side of the shoes over to grip your feet better. Two other things that have been added into the shoe. One that I haven't tried yet, and this is the handstand clip at the back. So on the back of the shoe here, they've put a harder piece of plastic or material that means you're gonna get less friction when doing your handstands. Also, this is the thing that I wanted them to change from the Metcon 6. Now, Metcon 6 have been my favorite CrossFit shoes up to this point. I won't deny that. It's what you see me wearing all the time on YouTube or on Instagram. But the one thing I said, and I think I already said it in this video, is the laces are prone to come undone quite easily on Nike trainers for the Metcons. Whether that's because of the material used or the way that I do them up, but mind you, they don't tend to come undone on other shoes, is they've added a lace hoop. On the tongue here, there is a Velcro kind of lace hoop where you can do your laces up, put this over the top, which means they physically cannot come undone anymore, which is a great thing, because the last thing you want to be doing during a workout is having to stop to do up your shoelaces because you're losing a bunch of time, and much of our training in CrossFit is done around time limits. A couple of other little kind of upgrades from the Metcon 6 to the Metcon 7. They've been a bit more robust with the grip and the tread on the underneath the shoe. One thing I noticed with the 6 sometimes, not that I've ever had a problem with it, but it's quite easy to bend the kind of sole of the shoe and flex it in. Doesn't happen on the 7s whatsoever. And there is a lot more tread on there as well, which is great for particularly grip outside when it's wet as well. In the box, it's kind of like a racetrack. It's relatively slick anyway, so these do a great job. But particularly outside, that extra bit of tread is great. And on top of the shoe, the Metcon 6, again, is kind of nice and lightweight and very airy. They've gone a little bit more robust, but kept the same flexibility on the 7 with slightly more kind of material on hardware areas. So if you're going to be catching your toes, if you're doing wall walks, we all did them in the open and know what they did to our shoes and to our walls. I think our box owners were pulling their hair out. One of the most important things to me, and I'm not going to lie, is the way the shoe looks, and I think it looks absolutely sick. I think the colorway they've done on it is epic, and I was talking to Leon afterwards. He's like, I don't know if I want to train in these. I kind of just want to wear these out. And if you think back to years gone by, CrossFit shoes or training shoes weren't always the prettiest. They really just kind of focused on functionality, and this kind of ticks both those boxes. I've said this already in this video, but I love the Metcon 6s, and I actually love the 7s even more. In terms of sizing for these shoes, they come bang on. I'm a UK 10, these are a 10, and they fit literally perfectly. You know, some shoes come up half a size big, half a size small, but whatever your normal size in, if you order in that size, I think you're gonna be absolutely golden. In terms of kind of comfortability of just wearing these shoes for a prolonged period of time, I would have no problems wearing these all day. They are super comfortable, very breathable. Now, one thing I might query is how waterproof they are gonna be if you're wearing them in torrential rain, but for a bit of splash proofing than that, I think you're gonna be absolutely grand. So that's about it for my review on the Metcon 7s. There's very little that I don't like about them. In fact, I really, really like these. And I actually want to say a massive thank you to Nike for sending these over to us and allowing us to do an honest review of these. I would like to cause a load of hysteria and say that they were given to us and they're rubbish, but I genuinely love them. So that's my honest review. If you guys have any questions about them, anything you want to know more about them, do drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you guys. And for me, they're going to be my new training shoes, and hopefully you guys will enjoy them too. See you guys.